Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Alea Burrell. Black History Month at Virginia Tech, while celebrated, is a sore subject in regards to the school's controversial racial issues. However, Black organizations and clubs, such as the Black Cultural Center, are still working to make sure that Black history will not be neglected this year. After being integrated in 1953, the first Black student to be admitted to Virginia Tech was Irvine P. Drew. Since racism was already rooted into the school because of their deep Southern heritage and the support of the Confederacy, Black students were not welcomed. They were also not allowed to live or eat on campus and often had to live with local Black couple Janie and William Hoge. More than 60 years later, racism still occurs on and off campus, such as the Black students in STEM Zoom bombers incident. The Black Cultural Center, however, hopes to ensure students at Virginia Tech is recognizing their own faults and are working to correct them.
Right. There are a lot of people that are hurt and affected and impacted by these things, either personally or, from a distance for whatever reason. And I think acknowledging that is something that, we're responsible for.
Virginia Tech is continuing to work on how they can show that they do not condone racism. And just last year, they changed the name of Lee Hall, who was a possible KKK member, to Hoge Hall. Amongst the Hokie community, transfer students are often overlooked when they arrive to Virginia Tech for the first time. However, many strides have been taken to help the new students adjust to life in Blacksburg campus and the community. Newsfeed reporter Shanza Amarani has more on this next story.
With new Hokies arriving at the Virginia Tech campus, it's often daunting for them to get adjusted. Located in Pritchard Hall, the Transfer Living Learning community helps to create opportunities for students to learn to navigate the campus. Headed by Allison Silknutter, the program strives to make the transition as smoothly as possible.
So I'd say number one is the event planning, because transfer students are living in this community because they want to make friends and find that community here at Tech. So a big piece of that is planning the events pretty much every week, just to get students out of their room and doing something together, which also entails working with the Student Leadership Council in the LLC, because they're the ones who are really running those events day to day.
Transfer students make up about 14% of the entire student body here at Virginia Tech. It's a difficult process to adjust to Blacksburg as well as the university campus. The Transfer Experience Living Learning Community, or LLC, has set up a mentor-mentee program with past transfer students, aiding the new members to get comfortable with the university and everything the Hokie family has to offer.
Mallory Wood, a second-year transfer student and current senior at the university, enjoys her role as a mentor and is proud of the work done within the LLC.
So I just had such a great experience coming into Virginia Tech, being in the LLC, and I thought that being a mentor would provide those people who haven't been able to get that LLC experience the opportunity to navigate campus better and just find a group of friends that they could connect with.
Reporting from Blacksburg, Virginia, I'm Shanza Amarani.
Type 1 diabetes affects millions of Americans all over the country. It is one of the least talked about autoimmune diseases. Diabetes occurs when the immune system destroys the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas. Diabetes management sounds complicated after the original diagnosis. Devices diabetics have to choose from are injection pens, syringe shots, and pumps. Anyone can get diagnosed at any age. If you get diagnosed, you need to take shots to keep blood sugar levels down. Pumps can be used as well.
The best way to manage type 1 diabetes is insulin, and you can get that, like you said, Brian, in many forms. So we usually have patients try insulin injections first because you have what we call an insulin to sensitivity factor.
Common symptoms of diabetes are frequent restroom usage, extreme thirst, blurred vision, fatigue, and weight loss. There are several online communities for recently diagnosed diabetics. You are encouraged to join one so you can get the help you need. The New River Health District is in Phase 1B of the COVID-19 vaccine plan, but there has been a shortage of vaccines in the last few weeks, and these shortages have made it difficult for many patients to schedule a vaccination. Phase 1B of the vaccine plan includes vaccinating essential workers, people aged 65 and over, and people with underlying medical conditions. However, the New River Health District's appointment schedule is booked through March, and they will only be scheduling people aged 65 and over once more appointments open up. The lack of vaccines has many eligible patients living in fear that they may not receive a vaccine, while others have decided to give up on getting vaccinated.
I don't think they have the access that they need to it. The reason I say that because I have a lot of elderly patients that call me personally, try to get in contact with me and ask me, are we getting the vaccine? Where can they go get it? How can they sign up?
The New River Health District expects to get 100,000 vaccine doses per week, but this has not been the case so far. New River health workers fear that the vaccine shortage will continue unless other vaccines get approved or bigger shipments arrive. Just ahead on the newsfeed, find out how local Blacksburg area bars are keeping their doors open during the pandemic.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Alea Burrell. In Blacksburg's neighboring community, the New River Valley, individuals have begun receiving their doses of approved COVID-19 vaccines. Both the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines have shown great success in fighting off COVID-19, but vaccine side effects are reported to be just as taxing as coronavirus symptoms would be. Newsfeed reporter Madeline Carose-Hayden joins us with more on this story.
Coronavirus vaccines, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna have been deemed safe for use and are being administered to the general public, starting with essential workers and individuals categorized as high-risk individuals. A few of our fellow Hokies have not only started their vaccination process, but have completed it. Both given out in a series of shots, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine process takes time, but are reported to have over a 90% success rate in preventing COVID-19 after completing the entire series. Virginia Tech senior and Pfizer vaccination recipient Rachel Matthews joins me to discuss her experience getting vaccinated, along with any concerns or side effects she's been dealing with since.
The Pfizer vaccine. After the first one, I just had a sore arm. After the second one, which I had heard was worse, I hydrated, made sure I took care of myself. I did feel a little fatigued throughout the day after that one.
Arlene New River Valley Medical Center in Christiansburg, Virginia, has been administering COVID vaccines to those who are eligible. Yet, New River Valley and Blacksburg community members continue to practice social distancing and mask-wearing guidelines enforced by the state. With both vaccines still being relatively new, the general public and professionals are still learning about the side effects experienced after distribution. Students, staff, and community members around the New River Valley continue to take safety measures in order to avoid possible COVID outbreaks, despite the vaccine being administered to the public. I'm Madeline Carose-Hayden, reporting for the newsfeed.
Thanks, Madeline. COVID has not only affected the product that it's in front of us, but what goes on behind the scenes too. With smaller crews because of COVID, Virginia Tech, along with the rest of the country, had to figure out how to produce the best product while being limited. Newsfeed reporter Daryl Grant has more in this next story.
COVID-19 has taken over the world of sports in a variety of ways. While the audience see the product that is out there in front of them, the people who work behind the scenes have it just as tough as the athletes, as they have obstacles to overcome when producing the product that the regular person may see on their television.
It's been a lot different in terms of preparation. A lot of times you would have a lot more people in the control room prior to the game, prior to game day, getting things ready, and also just being with each other during pre-production. Everything's a lot more spaced out.
While the virus has presented many different challenges when it comes to the world of live sports, there are some positives from having smaller crews to work on different events.
I think there are some positives that come out of that. I think it forces people to really lock in and focus on the task at hand, especially if they know they've got more than one kind of normal role or responsibility they have to worry about on a given broadcast. So I would say it's been more of a benefit than anything else this year.
As the pandemic has shed light on new ways that sporting events are produced, one can only envision how the production of sports will look post-pandemic.
In any college town, bars are typically filled with students until after midnight. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the way businesses operate. The bar in downtown Blacksburg has had to develop several safety protocols in order to remain open. Newsfeed reporter Meredith Topian gives us an inside look.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted the restaurant business. Downtown Blacksburg is known for its bars and restaurants, which are typically packed with customers. The pandemic has changed that completely. Oliver Marks, co-owner of Hokie House, shares a few changes they have made.
Everybody's got to be seated. There's nobody walking around or dancing around. We only do table service now. You can't come up to the bar to order anything, so our waiters and wait staff come to you.
Numerous guidelines have been set by the bars downtown in order to keep their business up and running, while also keeping customers safe.
Almost every bar or restaurant that you walk into now requires customers to wear a face mask. Once you are shown to your seat by your hostess, you may remove your mask if you choose and enjoy your time in a socially distanced environment, whether you're eating or just grabbing a drink.
While it may not be the usual experience, Mark says customers have been very understanding of all of the guidelines.
I think people are doing the best that they can, and they're enjoying it. You know, they get to sit down at tables with their friends, so, I guess there's still some socializing. It's, people have been in lockdown for so long.
The Coop is a popular bar downtown. Katie Collins, a manager there, expresses why the pandemic has led them to a smaller menu.
I mean, we can't keep that much food fresh enough if people aren't buying it. So the menu's gotten a lot smaller, and we, cut the prices on pretty much all food just to get people in.
Both Collins and Marks are thankful for the customers who are masking up and supporting their business during these times. Reporting in Blacksburg, this is Meredith Topian for the Newsfeed.
While Blacksburg has no shortage of winter ice on the ground, one might wonder where winter sports are being played. While not on actual ice, these Hokies are rolling on the competitive spirit, quite literally. The Roller Hockey Club at Virginia Tech is a unique organization that allows student hockey enthusiasts to play completely without the need of an ice rink. Newsfeed reporter Brandon Alamasio has more in this story.
Practicing inside the newly built Rec Sports Fieldhouse, the Virginia Tech Roller Hockey Club utilizes a unique set of skills that allows them to play hockey without the need of an ice rink. While most people may not have heard much about the sport itself, one might find it pretty self-explanatory, with several rule changes, such as the lack of icing and offsides. While their skates are lined with wheels instead of blades, and their pucks have a slight elevation to them, roller hockey looks very much like traditional ice hockey, if not more convenient due to the fact that you can play on many different surfaces, such as this one. Due to the fact that the roller hockey team is smaller than most club sports at Virginia Tech, the players are all very tight-knit, especially since they don't have a coaching staff and do a majority of the work themselves.
There's a lot of seniors that have graduated that were some of my best friends. There's a lot of young guys on the team this year that I'm looking forward to getting closer with. It's just the friendships at the end of the day, regardless of whatever our record is, it's really what makes it worth it to come to every practice and every game. Even though it is obscure, roller hockey is reportedly a very easy transition from ice hockey.
I go back to the niche of the sport, and if you've grown up playing it and you know about it, and then if you're an ice hockey player, you could potentially transition into it, and so that kind of gives us its character.
Due to the pandemic, the team is unable to set a guaranteed schedule, although they are looking into enrolling in tournaments in late spring and possibly playing scrimmages this semester. With uncertainty still in the air, the team still manages to keep rolling on. Reporting from Blacksburg, I'm Brandon Alamanestiano.
That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com, and as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching. I'm Alea Burrell.